Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Lisette Beam here, and I'm here with Dr. Ted Koren. Thank you, Dr. Ted, for coming on today. And definitely want to, the purpose of this is we're really on this mission to expand the education of ketosis and ketogenic lifestyle and bring everybody into this community and help them understand how to use it in a clinical way. So Dr. Ted, if you'd like to go ahead and open this up, that would be wonderful.
Well, some preliminary remarks are in order about this. Mm-hmm. One is that we've done a really great job of screwing ourselves up in modern society. There's many ways we've done it. One of them is with nutrition, because our natural state as humans is in ketosis, meaning we burn fats. As a result of our poor lifestyles, mostly junk food, a lot of carbs, especially the terrible grains that are out now that are GMO, and also just the fact that they've been modified over the generations with all kinds of, what would you call it when you mix and match different varieties?
Yeah, the genetically modified and
genetically modified, but also looking for the one type of grain.
Yeah.
So they've really excluded so many others which have different qualities. So they just want the most commercial one that grows the best. But we've really messed ourselves up. All the sugar, the high fructose corn syrup, and we've become carb burners instead of fat burners.
Yeah.
Becoming carb burners. Carb burning is something we can do, and we do it, of course, for energy, but it's a dirty energy.
Yeah.
It also gives us less fuel than fat burning. Fat burning is what we're born into. We're all born into ketosis. We're all fat burners, and we can easily transition to being fat burners from carb burners. I say easily in a relative way, because it'll take time. People have to change their diet. Exercise helps. Fasting can even help. But in doing this, we found that we've been using KST to help guide our patients and ourselves into ketosis. Because as a person changes their diet to eliminate carbs and to increase the amount of fat, have a moderate amount of protein, well, when that happens, people take time. And one of the most amazing things in nutrition is that our enzyme systems will change and adapt to our different nutritional environment. Yep. And although this is a great thing, when we eat a lot of crappy foods, unhealthy foods, unnatural foods, refined foods, our enzyme systems will do their best to modify it to it. When we start incorporating a healthy diet, which is a ketogenic diet, a natural diet, getting rid of all the junk, then we have a little time. We need time to be fat adapted, as they say.
Yeah, I call it. I call it garbage. We call it garbage.
Oh.
And not only that, but there's something you bring up a lot in this ketogenic conversation and ketosis is detoxification, and how part of what's along with the garbage, we're exposed to a lot more toxin insults from our environment, from vaccinations, from so many different factors. And I think that's really interfering with our metabolic processes as well. So if you'd like to touch on that.
I would not be surprised. I know Dr. Chen at our conferences refers to the ketogenic diet as an anti-cancer diet. Mm-hmm. And we do know that ketones, when they're floating in our body, and hopefully we have little sugar and a lot of ketones. Ketones are toxic to cancer cells. So let me put it a different way. Cancer cells don't like ketones. They can't use them for energy like regular cells, and they start to shrivel up and starve to death. So that's really great. But on top of it, ketones make cancer sick. They're toxic, and they promote the killing or the destruction of the cancer cells. As a result, ketones are wonderful to engender into our diet to create a ketone kind of lifestyle. In the fact that less toxins are being produced, less garbage is being produced, means that the body is able to has more energy to dump a lot of the toxicity, a lot of the waste, a lot of the residues of long-standing inflammation. But we use KST, the occipital drop. It's just a yes-no device. I call it a binary biofeedback device, simply to ask the body, how long will it take for this person to be keto adapted, to be fat adapted, to stop going from a carb burning machine to a fat burning machine. The advantages are fats burn cleaner. You get much more energy from fats. You have stable blood sugar, and you don't have the inflammation from carbs. So there's a lot of positive things as well as not having negative things. So we're going to be, we're promoting that because it's a natural diet. Of course, with KST and chiropractic and natural healing, you want to do what's natural. And this appears to be a very powerful way to return people to their natural, healthier state. And nutrition is, of course, one of the cornerstones of health and proper eating.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think one of the visuals that really help for people to understand what glucose does versus a ketone molecule, meaning using fat as fuel from a cellular process. When you're looking at what glucose does, it's very inflammatory. It creates a lot of metabolic byproducts. So it's kind of like a big, semi-truck going down a dirt road where you're getting all this dirt and debris and rocks are flying everywhere. That's what glucose is in its metabolic process through our cell system. It's creating a lot of this oxidative stress and this inflammatory cascade in its wake. Whereas a ketone molecule is much more efficient, like you were saying, so much more efficient. And it's more like a Tesla going down a highway where there's low emissions and you can get a lot more energy from a ketone molecule than a glucose molecule. And that's just one of the many, many benefits of using fats for fuel. So I absolutely agree with you. That's one of those visuals that I love to use because ketones they increase I've got my notes here, so I'm looking down. They actually increase your oxygen by 30%, and you get actually 3 more ATP than you do from a glucose molecule. So you're really doing your body a benefit to utilize, get into ketosis and utilize ketones as much as we can, just to have more of our day be in ketosis than out of ketosis. So I guess that brings us to our other discussions. How do we get into ketosis?
Oh yeah, and it's really a science that a good nutritionist can follow people. If a person has cancer, they probably should work with someone who's quite experienced in this field. As a general rule, getting into ketosis involves eating a lot of fats and moderate protein, very, very little carbs at all. And it works well if you exercise. It works well if you actually go into a regular fast or a modified fast. They call it intermittent fasting, or just even low-calorie diets, to start getting your body revving up to burning fats and continuing to burn fats. You can look around. I go to the airports a lot, and my wife took me to a regular supermarket, which I haven't been to in a while, and you can actually see the people that are really not taking, that are carb burning. You become more sensitive to it, and they're puffy. Yeah. Part of it's because people that burn carbs have more inflammation from carbs and from excess insulin. And when people start getting off the carbs, they lose a lot of the water from that that is stored in the inflammatory carb cycle, you could say. So I know that we talked about ways of quick jumping ketosis, and using exogenous ketones is a very effective way as well. And this is why I got hooked up with you for this, partially because there's certain products that help you get into ketosis quickly. It could take, naturally, it could take weeks or months to get strongly into ketosis, and these products could get you in about an hour. Was that it?
Yeah, so I'll show some products here in just a little bit, but yes, so therapeutic ketones, and we always have to start with the diet. That is the foundation. And so I look at ketones as therapeutic ketones, meaning the powdered form of beta hydroxybutyrate. which the Pruvit products, it comes from organic coconut, for those of you who don't know where these are derived from. But beta-hydroxybutyrate is one of the ketones that our body actually takes and breaks down into a fuel source. So when you take fats and you break it down, it turns into a beta-hydroxybutyrate. So it's very natural to our body. And what Pruvit has done with their Max products is they've created a bioidentical ketone, and it's the first on in the market. It's patent pending. And that means that our body actually views it as its own ketone, and we'll use it that way. And sometimes other ketones that you might see out on the marketplace are kind of cheaper variations, or they're kind of pixie dust with ketones in there, and they're not really getting your body into ketosis that is going to have a cellular impact, because really it is about what levels are you raising your ketones to, because we are a dual fuel system. And you want to, again, we were talking about maintaining ketosis throughout a day so that you can manage the insulin spikes and you can optimize cell function. And in order to do that, you have to have a certain level of ketones available for utilization. And so you can use you can do ketogenic diet, but it is very difficult to get into sometimes. For a lot of Americans that we were talking about, they've got metabolic issues, or their toxicity issues, things like that interfere with their normal cell metabolism. Sometimes it's very difficult for them to get into and maintain ketosis, because a therapeutic ketogenic diet is really 80% fats and very little, if any, carb, and 20% protein. And that's just hard to manage on a day-to-day basis. So using the therapeutic ketones allows you a little bit more flexibility, and you can bring a lot more healthy greens and vegetables into your diet, obviously fibrous vegetables and healthy greens, and add in healthy fats like coconut oil and MCT oil and chia seeds and things like that help you to, and nuts and nut butters. And you don't want to go crazy with it all, but you can certainly have a more moderate lifestyle plan versus being straight ketogenic for the therapeutic benefits. Because therapeutic ketosis, like you were saying, to deal with something like cancer, it's very different than ketogenesis for weight loss. To really have that metabolic shift, ketogenesis for a therapy like cancer is very strict and regimented. Whereas, sometimes just going low carb in many instances can help us lose weight, but that doesn't mean that we're in ketosis or that our body has metabolically shifted. So using the therapeutic ketones allows us to bridge that and gives us a more even regulated level of ketones throughout the day, and readily available as well. So for brain function, for cellular health and things like that, it's a lot easier to manage a ketogenic lifestyle with using the ketones versus.
Yeah, and I'd like to have patients, doctors ask their patients' bodies using the OD or any biofeedback. Having ketogenesis, becoming fat adapted, would it be healthy? Would it be good for them? What products would be good for them? And you can actually have them hold the different products. I guess you're grabbing a few now.
I am.
What I've done, and I've done this with vitamins, I've done this with foods, KFT doctors do it with all kinds of things. Have them hold it to their chest. It's a nice sort of show and tell when you do it that way. Have them hold it to their chest and ask, is this beneficial for the patient? And they could, once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day, once every other day, a half a packet, a third, a whole packet. And you could just ask their bodies and how long, will take to be in ketosis, which is the best protocol to use, because everyone is so unique and individual. You really should just ask their body. And like as I said, I'm always amazed at the different questions we can ask the body.
Yeah.
And this is something I'm very pleased that we can, and the results seem to be working very well, because you can simply get the feedback you need. To find out if a person's in ketosis, you can ask the body. There's also, and if you want to, you can also do, I think it's various drugstores, the big Costco's and what have you, CVS, I don't know if you have them where you are, you can get these little tests to see if you're in ketosis. There's blood, there's urine, there's breathing, but and that's nice. And especially if a person wants to check therapeutically, if they're in ketosis, these are very good ways of seeing if your body is really shifting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let's see your show and tell.
Oh, oftentimes I just have people go by more how they feel, because if they're efficient ketone users, some of those markers are not as accurate. So really going by, how do they feel mentally, emotionally? Because when you are in ketosis, you can feel there's definitely a shift. You're happier, your brain feels healthy and happy, and you feel focused and lots of energy and things like that. So I usually say, go by how you feel. You can use those markers or these tests if you absolutely need to, but really just go by how you feel, because it really, you really do know. You can really feel the difference when you are in therapy in ketosis. So absolutely, the benefits of this is just incredible. So, obviously reducing inflammation, inflammatory markers, and things like that.
Yeah, and you look better. People really
we do. Yeah, everyone always says.
Carb eating.
Yeah.
I like that.
I usually tell my male patients, they want to preserve muscle, and ketones are very good at helping us preserve our muscle. They're muscle preserving. And so, the male
Hormone
client.
balance also.
I'm sorry?
Hormone balance also.
Exactly. Not because they're reducing that burden on our body, and our body can actually balance out the hormones like they're supposed to naturally. So, hormone balancing and anti-inflammatory muscle preserving for my men. And my women, I usually just say, well, do you want to look good in your skinny jeans and not be bloated and feel happy during the day? And they all say yes. So that's usually how I have two ways of explaining it to people.
I've met people that really are on excellent diets, and when they started going ketogenic, they noticed a lack of puffiness in areas that they thought were fine. So apparently there was still some inflammation. Yeah. So it's really a great thing. And I think that the low fat craze that went on has really harmed so many people. And the statin drugs are killing people right and left. People started turning to margarine and artificial butter, and half and half, and skim milks, and oh my Lord, we had no idea we were damaging ourselves. The lipid hypothesis is what has totally taken over and is really responsible for heart attacks, cancer, and other chronic illness, as well as a massive amount of weight gain. So this is why I'm very happy about this. I've been on it for a while, and I started working out again. I felt like I just didn't have the energy. And now I'm throwing kettlebells around.
Yeah, you were talking about that you too.
Yeah.
Russian gym.
I use my own body as a measure, and that's, to me, this is very important. So I can't really promote anything unless I try it myself. I think it's to me, that's the honest way to do it.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things is the product that's out there is, I can't believe it's not butter, and I say absolutely it's not butter. It's disgusting, is what it is.
Yeah, that stuff is. I can always tell, but there's a lot of really bad things people have done, and they pay more for these low fat, foods. And they taste like crap. So, it's a little bit of combination of, hey, do it taste better. One thing I like about ketogenic is that you lose your cravings for sugar. And that surprised the hell out of me, because I'd always been very much into cakes and cookies and pies. I just love them. And I didn't have to feel like there was such a pull toward them anymore. Yeah. And that to me was thrilling. But you haven't showed anybody the products yet.
Oh, we're going to show them right now. So these are the Pruvit products. And I was brought to this conversation through concussion management. So my daughter suffered a concussion, and we had used some other products that were out the marketplace at the time. And when I found out that the Pruvit ketones were bioidentical, we switched over, and it was like night and day for her. She actually says the light bulb went on in her head. And, I had been working with her with anti-inflammatory diet and chiropractic and all these things. And And it wasn't until sorry, my kitty's over here trying to climb into our conversation. So we have, this is the Orange Dream. It's the Keto OS. It was the original formula. This one actually has some MCT powder in it. And so for those that would like a little bit extra fats with their therapeutic ketones, they can use that one. And then we have Max, and the Max are the bioidentical. And with the Max, these come in different flavors. I have here raspberry lemonade and the chocolate. It also comes in one called Maui Punch. And so there's different flavors, and they always have some fun.
I use the Maui. Stuff.
You're the Maui or the chocolate? I can't.
No, the Maui before I work out.
Oh, before you work out, you like the Maui?
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know why.
I love the Maui too. My husband's he's the favorite is the raspberry lemonade. But in the mornings, since I do the intermittent fasting, but I don't do the coffee because I'm not a butter coffee type person or coffee person. So I use the Max chocolate, and then I turn that into kind of my keto cocoa. And so I'll use this with hot water. So you can bake with these. You can turn them into Jello.
Dr. Chen lectures for us. I'm sorry. Dr. Chen, who lectures for us, has created his own Bulletproof coffee without coffee, which is Dandy Blend, which is a dandelion chicory blend as a coffee substitute with the butter and MCT oil or high octane or just coconut oil.
Yeah.
And that's where I started with. That's how I started getting to ketosis, just using that. And later I started with the Pruvit products because it just dovetailed and worked so well with it.
Yeah, a lot more convenient to stay in ketosis and be in ketosis, especially as busy as you are and how much you travel and everything. So this one is now the keto cream. You can see on there cream. This doesn't have ketones in it, but it has functional fats and collagen and also AC11 DNA repair. And this you can actually use. You just dump that into your Dandy Blend. You can put it into coffee. It's essentially your butter coffee or fat coffee. Just getting those fats to your brain early first thing in the morning is really important. And also to start off with fats in the morning helps our body know that, okay, we're in fat burning, we're going to be using fats as fuel. And so that this is one of those things that you can use in the morning if you want to kind of up the healthy fats in the diet and use that in.
Now I've added that to my Bulletproof coffee or Bulletproof Dandy Blend.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is because I'm making it, before I whip it all up with the frother or with the blender, I'll add maybe a tablespoon from that pack. So I'll use the pack a few times so it's sort of, it adds to it. It tastes great, and it adds to it. So that's my way.
Yeah, this pack is usually about 2 servings for me. I use probably half the pack each time. So you can use them however you want to, either with an intermittent fasting diet. And even with kids that maybe aren't on intermittent fasting, my daughter starts her morning off with her ketones in the morning and goes off to school, and both my daughters do, but my oldest, my senior, she has noticed that it really helps her throughout the whole day, just to kind of maintain that mental energy and focus throughout the day. And her friends are dying off at like 10:30, 11 o'clock and thinking, where's lunch? And she's like, I'm fine.
Wow.
So it's really...
I'm running out of time because I have an appointment to go to, so I don't know if you want to finish up our talk.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'd love to help anybody that would like some more information on, bringing in the ketones into their either their lifestyle or their clinical practice, anything like that. So we're here to help answer any questions. And my name is Dr. Lisette Beam. You can friend me on Facebook, or you can email me at lbeamdc@gmail.com. And again, that's lbeamdc@gmail.com. And I'll also give you, if you want some more information about the Pruvit product specifically, you can go to TED.Pruvit, Pruvit, now, NOW.com. So TED.PruvitNow.com is Dr. Ted's link for these wonderful, magical packages of ketone pixie dust. And
just try it.
We always just say, you know what, give it a try. just drink it. That's really our motto, is everybody's going to respond differently and are looking for different things. And so, just try it, give it a try, give it a test drive and see how it makes you feel, see the differences it might make for your body, yourself, or your family. And that's really all we're here to do. It's just going to help you learn more about this conversation, about the community, and also the support that we are here to provide for you.
Great, everybody, email Lisette. Thank you, Lisette.
You're welcome. Bye. Thank you so much, Dr. Ted.